You know, if you study history, all revolutions started with an idea. That holds true today, as there's an intellectual fight against the New North. You have those that still believe and trust in America, our founding principles, our founding fathers, the constitutional republic, and then you have the New World Order. You've got the establishment. You've got the power structure. You've got Obama. You know, if you study history and you look at revolutions, even civil disobedience that was implemented by Gandhi, you realize that that was really all that was at his disposal at the time. In fact, in his memoirs and also in his journal, he would talk about the fact that he was appalled that the people, the Indian people, were so passive in their chains. There was this passivity. There was this unwillingness to fight against the invading British at the time. And Gandhi realized also that they didn't have any weapons at their disposal, and because there was an unwillingness to fight, there was really no other option but to utilize what they had. And what they had is non-violent civil disobedience. And because they were fighting the British at the time, and the British weren't on par with totalitarian regimes like Nazi Germany, they knew that they weren't going to be shot at. Because if you think about it, if they were trying to peacefully, civilly protest against the Hitler regime, they wouldn't have made it past the starting gate without, bullets flying. And that's something else that we need to consider and that people need to think about. And you also learn this throughout history, that all of these movements that they say are civilly peaceful, and we see this and we saw this with Lenin, for example, they're only peaceful until the dictator assumes power. You say they play by the rules at first, and then when they take power, it suddenly changes and it's by the gun. Now, we saw this in India within 5 years of the revolution in India that toppled the British and toppled the invading redcoats at the time. India was engaged in war with other countries using guns, completely counter to their fundamental ideology that nonviolence was the key to accomplishing political objectives. So it's important to recognize and it's important to understand that all revolutions, when we look through history, and even today, always started with an idea first. And we saw this with our own revolution, the American Revolution here in the United States of America. There was something in the air. There was a growing discontent among the colonists. And there was a sense that we were being rubbed the wrong way by the British. And the revolution had really broken out intellectually long before the first bullet was ever fired. We also saw this with the Civil War, the South versus the North. Although the North was benefiting from slavery and benefiting from the cotton gin, which was operated by slaves, and benefited from all that, there was an intellectual war and there were intellectual differences tearing the country apart at the time. And it's the same thing we have today. We have the New North, we have Obama, we have the radical policies of his administration, whether or not we look at the NDAA or his aggressive warmongering overseas in the Middle East or really anything else. And then we have old America. We have, I guess, the New South, although I don't really like that term. We have the New Confederates. I really think it's more, we have the New Founding Fathers. We have the New Constitutionalists that still believe in the principles that were established to put into place this great country so that we could enjoy the freedom of speech, so that we could enjoy the freedom of press, so that we could enjoy a free world, better for not only all Americans, but I really believe better for the world. And I don't think that that's an arrogant or a naive thing to say. And that is why everything that we have today, all these freedoms that the New North says that we have, says that we have to enjoy, really is just an illusion. You know, as many Americans live in an illusory environment with daytime and nighttime television, video games, mainstream media propaganda that's desensitizing them to the truth, it's desensitizing them to reality, it's taking away and stealing morality that I think that we once had, at least to a greater degree in this country, and it's creating a very passive, weak state, which is exactly the intention and is exactly the goal. And that is why we really don't have the freedoms that the New North says that we have, that says that we have the right to enjoy, like the right to peacefully assemble. We saw this with Occupy Wall Street. There was no right to peacefully assemble. There was for a little short while before it became inconvenient for the city of New York. And the next thing we saw was the cavalry move in. We saw Mayor Bloomberg's cops trample over protesters and club them over the head. We also saw this with the outbreak of the initial protests in San Francisco when they shut down cellular towers and shut down the metro system. So the people couldn't freely, civilly, peacefully organize and protest this government. Is that freedom? Is that the country? Is that what is on paper in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence? I don't think so. And you see, the government knows that we've made the push past the point of no return. We've made the push past the breaking point, which is exactly why they're implementing the police state today. It's exactly why the totalitarian regime is ready, willing, and just looking for a reason. There is no America anymore. There is no America in its past form. There is in the minds and the hearts of the people. But unfortunately, outside of those select people and outside of those patriots, the New North has now taken a fundamental role and a majority rule in our government, in our systems, and has taken over not just the country, but our cities, our towns, our municipalities. It's taken over the good people of America. You still think you have freedom? You still think you have a vote? Let me ask you something. Did you vote for the NDAA? No, you didn't. It was passed by President Barack Obama under dictatorial rule. Did the Congress pass it on behalf of the American people? No. It was passed by dictator-in-chief, President Barack Obama. Did you vote for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? No, you didn't. Did you vote for the wars in the invasion of Libya, the ouster and assassination of Muammar Gaddafi? Or how about the engagement in the civil terrorist events in Syria? Did you vote for that? Are you voting for the new war in Iran? Or did you ever vote for bank bailouts or TARP? No, you didn't. You see, there is no America anymore in its true form. There is no America in its constitutional, freedom-loving, liberty-loving form. It's gone. But what is most disconcerting is the discontent that's in the air among the American people, the discontent that is evident, and the ideological difference between the New North and the patriots that actually still love this country and love the constitutional republic and love freedom and love liberty and love the freedom of choice and love the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of it. Although imperfect, it was never perfect. It was the best goddamn thing that this planet had to offer. And it's what made America so great. My hope is that we can reinstill that freedom. My hope is that we can reinvigorate that liberty. We can go back to those roots, and we can stand for something. I'm Christopher Green. You've been watching Green Wave TV, alternative media television, and I just deliver the Daily Wave. Hard-hitting and in your face, America.